known as Galaisi of the illusion. How strong is it? What is the final outcome? In the pinnacle genius battle held by the Metaverse Company, the God Race Phantom Demon from the Pungu Universe Kingdom plus Tsaishi is one of the most controversial and feared peerless geniuses. He used the spiritual power of the ninth order of the star level. Cultivate soul attack illusion to the realm of magic. The legend of killing in seconds with just the eyes shook the entire genius circle of the Universe Kingdom. It is regarded by countless people as a strong contender for the overall top 10. The name of Galaisi's Phantom. It stems from his terrifying performance in the Genius War selection of the Pungu Universe Kingdom. As the top descendant of the Noisy God clan, he was born with a supramental affinity. The mystical method practice does not require physical movements. Mental fluctuations alone can directly invade the opponent's sea of consciousness. Transform illusions into killer moves that hit the soul directly. In the internal selection of the Universe Nation, Galaisi stood on the radio station without moving half a step throughout the whole process. Facing several strong opponents, he is just one of the eyes. It is convenient to fall into an infinite illusion in an instant. Eventually lost combat ability in a nervous breakdown. There are even weak people who are directly devoured by the illusion and die. This terrifying dominance was in the subsequent Genius Battle General Division. It is even more vividly displayed. Galaisi's 3 battles can be called textbook-level illusion crushing. In the first 2 battles, he still didn't move. The moment when the eyes made contact with the opponent, the other party froze in place as if he had been cast a spell. Then he fell straight down. There is not even a chance to resist. The opponent of the 3rd battle was a star-level 8th order genius with quite tenacious mental strength. Barely supported the first soul shock. But when Saishi's mental fluctuations hit again, the other party's sea of consciousness was instantly torn apart. In the end, the wolf criminal conceded defeat. A 3-game winning record. Let Saishi win the decisive place without suspense. It also made his name spread to all corners of the metaverse, including Luo Feng. Many peerless geniuses including Rong Jun couldn't help but be distracted by his live broadcast. Luo Feng frowned slightly after watching. Sighed in his heart. This does not require charging. Soul attacks that ignore distance. It's really too weird. Once locked, there is almost no solution. And the god of death Berlin also gave a very high evaluation. His spiritual power is extremely pure. The penetration power of illusion is the top of the same order. If you encounter it head-on, even I have to be cautious. Internal assessment of metaverse companies. It is even directly defined as the natural enemy of monks below the 7th level of the star level. It is enough to make most geniuses of the same level unattainable. However, Galaisi's strength has distinct limitations. This also became the biggest shortcoming of his career. His illusions and psychic attacks. Effective only on creatures with soul and spirit cores. Facing the mechanical puppet. Metal life. When the Demon Slayer tribe has no souls, its ability will be completely disabled. This flaw was exposed in the assessment of the trial space. Many levels in the trial. Virtual opponents or mechanical guards with pure energy constructs are required. Galaisi's illusions are useless. It can only be dealt with weak physical attacks. The final trial's ranking was only 189. This ranking has sparked great controversy. Some people question that he does not live up to his name. Some people also pointed out soberly. Trials rankings do not define his true strength. It's just that the rules just restrain his abilities. This is indeed the case. In the subsequent assessment of the Tongtian Bridge, Galaisi once again encountered a bottleneck. The first floor of the Tongtian Bridge in Chaos City. The opponent is a virtual powerhouse composed of pure energy. His mystical method did not work at all. It took 3 months. In the end, you can only barely pass the level by brute force. On the other hand, look at Luo Feng. With only one move, he crushed through. This also highlights that Galaisi is physically attacking. And the obvious lack of understanding of the law. King Jinyan said bluntly when commenting. Galaisi's illusion is amazing. But he relies too heavily on spirit attacks. Lack of basic understanding of the laws of space. If this limitation cannot be broken, in the end, it will stop at the immortality of the king. It really makes the strength of Saishi fully tested. It was a duel with Luo Feng in the Genius Battle Finals. This collision of the pinnacle of spiritual power. It has become one of the most classic battles in the Genius War. The battle begins. Saishi then performed phase manipulation. Distort space and spiritual perception. Made what Luo Feng cared about most. An immersive fantasy where the earth is swallowed by the Zerg mother nest. On the screen, Su Xin and her relatives and friends were under siege by the Zerg tribe. The familiar scene and desperate atmosphere made Luo Feng's mental power shake violently. The sea of consciousness was almost lost. This illusion. Luo Feng's pupils shrank suddenly. But he quickly woke up with super willpower. It is impossible for a metaverse company to let a real disaster appear in the trial. Subsequently, Luo Feng operated the secret method of the Tower of the Void to temporarily increase his spiritual power. Counterattack with the Pulse Soul Seal. The spiritual power hit Galaisi's sea of consciousness like a tide. This spiritual clash lasted a full quarter of an hour. In the end, Luo Feng broke the illusion with his precise control of the virtual and the real. And used the divine weapon to inflict heavy damage on the west of the Canadian army. Won this matchup. Despite defeat. But Galaisi's performance still shocked the audience. It can force Luo Feng to use his trump cards. It is enough to prove that his spiritual power is in the top 20 in his generation. Unfortunately, this amazing illusion master. In the end, he failed to realize his desire to break through the realm. In the subsequent Magic Mountain mission, Galaisi suffered a betrayal from within. At that time, he was ordered to go to Moi Mountain to carry out a search and rescue mission. However, he was secretly attacked by Malo, who is also a core disciple of the Metaverse Company. Moro had already planned for a long time, using a domain master-level energy weapon to penetrate Galaisi's mental telekinesis armor. One blow destroyed his sea of consciousness. Before he died, Galaisi only had time to say that it was actually you. Then he fell into a pool of blood. when his household was discovered. The 3-centimeter cave on the back of the head became the only clue. Barbata analyzed and concluded. This is the damage that can only be dealt by domain master level energy weapons. The murderer must be his own person who is familiar with his weaknesses. The fall of Galaisi. Not only did Pengu Universe lose a top genius, it also laid the groundwork for the undercurrent within the Metaverse company. His life. It is the epitome of talent and limitations. With the blood advantage of the Xene Protoss and the ultimate illusion talent, he became the pinnacle powerhouse in the field of mental attack. But it is also due to over-reliance on a single ability. In the end, it failed to break through the realm. Also suffered a fatal betrayal. Even so, the legend of the Phantom Galaisi is still circulating. His mystical method and phase manipulation technique. It has become an important reference for future generations of illusion practitioners. The eyes he created in the genius battle killed the legend in seconds. It is still a topic of conversation among countless monks. As King Jinyan said, Galaisi's fall is a regret. But he proved it with his life. Even if there is a limited talent, as long as you cultivate to the extreme, it can also become an insurmountable peak. This illusion master from the Protoss. Although it did not reach the end, but with a unique fighting style and amazing talent. Before everyone grew up,